Welcome to Airborne Unlimited for Friday from AirVenture 2015 at Whitman Regional Airport. I'm Bree Cross. Coming up on today's program, U.S. Senator James Inhofe is on a mission at AirVenture this year. The NextGen GA Fund says pilots are starting to take the 2020 deadline seriously. And the final installment of our interview with Jack Pelton. U.S. Senator James Inhofe is a regular at AirVenture, but this year he's a man on a mission, as he explains to ANN's Tom Patton.
Senator Inhofe, thank you for joining us, first of all, and I want to also take a moment to thank our friends here at One Aviation for allowing us to come up here on their very nice balcony and chat with you. You're very close, I think, on Pilot's Bill of Rights, too. You've got just a little bit more work to do. What is your mission here at Oshkosh?
Well, let me tell you what my mission is, Tom, because you remember about 10 years ago when they tried to take away Bob Hoover's, with one inspection in the field, his license, and they did. And I had to actually pass a bill to get him back in the air. Now, where did I get my votes? I came to Oshkosh that year, as I've come. This is my 36th year in a row. I want you to know that. Now, I can answer any questions about it, but I think if everyone would get this morning's paper, the AirVenture paper, it's free, there's still some out there. Look on page 54. I'm in the headline there, and it talks about the Pilot's Bill of Rights too. But it also lists all 54 senators that are my co-sponsors. So you can just say the good guys are the 54 names that you see there, and I have to go back to Washington tomorrow, and I have to take with me 6 more co-sponsors. So specifically, I want everyone who is watching us, who cares about this issue, to get that on page 54 and find out who those good guys are. And if you don't see the name of your United States Senator, then you call them up and say, you know, there could be an amendment on Tuesday, and we want to know, are you going to support us on this? I can assure you that will make a difference, and I can get at least 6 more co-sponsors.
NextGen GA Fund Boss Michael Dyment spoke with ANN earlier today, where he reports that the GA community is finally taking the ADS-B 2020 mandate more seriously. In a conversation with ANN, Dyment reported that the firm positions taken by FAA Administrator Michael Huerta and other factors are driving the change in attitude.
It appears to us that this is the time where aircraft owners are in the mood to get going with their mandated equipage, and they're all looking for ways to pay for it, ways to finance it.
So in other words, they understand the FAA is serious about 2020.
I think that was made abundantly clear with Administrator Huerta's speech earlier this week. It's the same message that's been conveyed by the FAA now for a couple of years. The associations have not been successful in having the FAA take any pressure off the accelerator. And now it's really up to the associations to advise their members to get going with equipage. Now, we've put in place a financing plan that it will be appealing to as many as 100,000 aircraft owners. And there are about 150,000 aircraft still that have to be upgraded. There are going to be shortages of installation capability, and our advice to everybody is make your decisions, commit to equipage, and get scheduled with the repair station so that they can get you done sometime between now and the end of this decade.
After the break, helicopters, switchblades, and brakes.
We are the Aero-News Network, with over 250,000 stories, 7,000 Aero podcasts, 2,500 Aero-TV programs, 500 episodes of Airborne, and so much more. It's a record of performance unequaled in the Aeroverse, and there's far more to come. Aero-News, committed to innovate, inform, inspire, and disrupt the aviation world.
The debate is no longer about upgrading GA aircraft with NextGen, it's about financing it. The NextGen GA Fund is about doing just that. Find out more at www.nextgenfund.com.
Welcome back to Airborne Unlimited, coming to you from Oshkosh, Wisconsin at AirVenture 2015. If you're in Oshkosh and you see something that we need to see, just email to news-spy@aero-news.net. Kitfox has developed a STOL wing for their popular Kit plane. Kitfox President and CEO John McBean told ANN that development of the new wing was largely customer-driven.
We've had continuing people ask us to do something that takes off out of their backyard, long driveway, something along those lines. So we took a look at it. About 5 years ago, we developed the wing. We never put it into play, and then we decided to go ahead and do some testing with it. Found out that we're able to accomplish that mission. It is more of a STOL-specific mission. Cruise speeds of 98 miles an hour true, and yet we can take off in less than half the distance of our current model and land in about half the distance of our current model, actually less than half the distance, about 100 feet both ways. The wing is retrofittable into the fleet, so a person could literally change wings in a weekend.
I think something that a lot of folks are going to want to know, specifically somebody who might want to retrofit the wing onto their existing airplane, what does it cost?
Well, if they're retrofitting, the wing kit is $98.50, and that includes new lift struts, flapperons, the lift strut fairings, the vortex generators, pretty much the wing as you see it sitting here. If they're buying the firewall back kit here at the show, it's $34,995, firewall back. That's including the wing, the gear as you see it, with $4,000 worth of Alaska Bush Wheel Airstreak tires.
It's not all about fixed-wing airplanes at AirVenture. And another market-driven development, this time in the rotary-wing arena, is the Cicaré 8, which is a follow-on to the company's T7 single-place helicopter. Cicaré Chief Commercial Officer Raul Oreste talked with ANN's Jim Campbell.
The market was demanding a side-by-side helicopter, so we kind of like grabbed that desire and new technologies like carbon fiber and other materials to improve that design, reduce the weight of the helicopter, and kind of like grab all that experience we've been gaining over 60 years that Augusto Cicaré has been generating, and grab the whole team and said, okay, let's do a product that we know we're ready to do. So it's like adding up everything we've been doing these years, and we know it's going to be a great helicopter because of all the performance and the technologies that we incorporated in it.
Another aircraft which has been in development for some time is the Switchblade, which some people call a flying motorcycle, but it's so much more. As Samson Motors CEO Sam Boesfield explains.
The project is we call it a multi-mode vehicle because we're three wheels, we're not a car, so you couldn't call it really a flying car. But multi-modes, it does two things, it drives and flies, and according to our tests so far and prototyping, it actually drives very, very well, and the wind tunnel shows that it should fly very well. So we're hoping to have that combination, not the other where it's mediocre car, mediocre plane. We'd like about 160 mile an hour cruise. We go in miles per hour because we're on the ground, so miles per hour makes more sense to stick with that. On the ground, we've already tested over 100 miles an hour, which is nice. It's very zippy. It's very fun to drive. It's got the power to weight almost of a Ferrari California, so you kind of have to be a little reserved on the ground. And in the air, 200 mile an hour VNE, or top speed, is what we're targeting for. So that's what we'll see. We'll get as close as we can to that, and test flights will tell us what we do.
Beringer is a company that may be best known for brakes, but at AirVenture this year, they displayed an array of products for a variety of applications, one of which Beringer Aero Sales Director Claire Beringer says was created to solve a specific problem.
We have developed this Alaskan landing gear after a few trips in Alaska, flying Super Cubs and obviously having issues with their standard landing gear. So we decided to come up with a special kinematic that we patented. It has a vertical travel of 12 inches, so that's 4 times more than the usual landing gear. We want to certify this landing gear for the Super Cubs and then eventually Husky and Champs. It's going to be certified for Super Cubs at the end of next year. We're going to have an STC for that. So let's talk about the specification of the landing gear. It is all a CNC machine from billet aluminum and then anodized to protect against corrosion. The kit is delivered with pre-charged shocks. We have a third chamber here that you can adjust between 0 and 10 psi depending on the load of your airplane. Then it has a vertical travel of 12 inches thanks to the big shocks that you can see here. And it uses obviously our wheels and brakes, but are now quite common.
After these messages, we'll wrap up our conversation with EAA Chairman Jack Pelton.
Now certified, Aspen Avionics single-band ADS-B, ATX-100, and ATX-100G transceivers are the next-gen ADS-B solution that provides the features pilots need while keeping flyaway costs low. Check it out now at aspenavionics.com.
Well, I started flying virtually 40 years ago in the Navy. Flew off several aircraft carriers, flew the F-4 Phantom, capable of going Mach 2, and after 10 years of that, left the Navy, went into working for the airlines, and in the next 29 years I flew virtually every airliner out there, from the DC-10 to the 777, 737s, DC-9s, and all over the world. You've become a computer programmer in the airline business, certainly, where all you're really doing is pushing buttons to make the airplane go. So you don't get to fly the airplane a lot unless you demand some time doing it. And it's not the same as one of these anyway, because you just don't have the feedback and the feel of the stick and the rudder and what the airplane's doing. The integration of the flight control system just feels superior to a lot of airplanes I've flown. It's just so smooth to make turns, to do things, that you just feel like you could do anything in this airplane so safely. The STOL airplane that this is, I mean, I could fly just like a helicopter virtually because of its light sport capability, the fact that I don't have to deal with medicals. I can see me flying this for a lot of years and enjoying it and feeling very safe and comfortable doing that.
Welcome back to Airborne Unlimited, coming to you from AirVenture 2015 in Oshkosh, Wisconsin. Prior to the start of AirVenture, ANN CEO Jim Campbell sat down with EAA Chairman Jack Pelton to discuss the industry and organization. In our final segment of the program, Jack talks with ANN CEO Jim Campbell about developing a cohesive message for general aviation.
You know, AirVenture in Oshkosh every year is an amazing collection of all things aviation. And I've been coming to it myself since I was a little kid with my dad. And it spans every aspect of aviation, from hot air balloons and ultralights all the way up to the greatest fighters that have ever been produced. We'll see this year, the F-35, and everything in between. Everything people have dreamed of wanting to do, they've made it happen and they bring it here. So that's the landscape of what you're walking into when you come into the grounds. Then you have on top of that an unbelievable resource of education of everything aviation. I mean, if you are working on something or you're interested in something, that resource is here through all of our forums. And then we put on a wonderful air show in the evening, and there is nothing from the scale, size, and complexity relative to aviation in the world. So, you know, my advice always is come spend the time. Take your time to dig in and get deeper into the various things that are going on. Schedule yourself. You know, look at where your interests lie and follow and pursue those. And I don't know anybody that hasn't done that's walked away and said, "Oh my gosh, I had no idea that I could learn about this, or that I could see this, or that I would walk away with a new interest in another area." So that's my probably longer than 2 minutes, but it is really something else. And I too, like you, I have a lot of friends that I'll meet that are involved in aviation, haven't been here. The crew that got off the B-52, guys building an RV, Vans aircraft, and has never been to Oshkosh. It's like, how can that be? You fly a B-52 for a living, you're building an airplane, and you haven't come here. We have a little marketing to do on to also let people know it's not that hard to come here and stay. I think there had been myths for a long time about hotel accommodations, and this has become really a world-class camping event. Mm-hmm. And with nicer camping facilities, it's really
with an incredible social scene.
Very incredible social day, all day and all night. And so you can come here, stay on the grounds, and never have to leave, which is great. And it's getting more comfortable.
Well, Jack, as always, we certainly appreciate the time. We're really looking forward to the week ahead. Like everything, you walk into this with a tremendous amount of expectations, and if everybody does their job right, you walk out with your expectations exceeded. Good deal. Thanks, sir.
Thank you, Jim.
Well, that's our show for today. Thanks for watching our AirVenture 2015 coverage. And if you missed any episodes this week, we'll be rerunning all of our coverage next week so that you can catch up. And if you know what plane this is behind me, comment below. I'm Bree Cross. I will see you in a week.